Okay, rants and raves. Last week we decided, after a little bit of discussion, we would watch Twisted Metal. Now, uh, it's been very firmly ingrained in everybody over the years that adaptations of video games are bad. I would like to start this off and say I think they finally did something right.
So I haven't watched all of it. I've tried to watch it as much as I could. 2 nights ago, I got to watch 2 episodes, but I ended up falling asleep, so I didn't actually get to watch anymore. But I think the first 2 episodes was enough for me to have a good feeling of what this show is all about. Although I may be
Is
wrong
it a
from my
but
conversation.
is that good feeling a good feeling?
This movie is pure
Fun.
guns, cars, and gags.
So it's
And
perfect.
if that's what you want, it's great.
Yeah, if you're looking for Yellowstone, yeah, that'll be back in another couple weeks. This ain't for you.
Mhm.
If you like cool stuff that and having fun, Twisted Metal is amazing.
So the very first scene is a car chase inside of a mall.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the very first things that happens is that he hits a display
At a
and a
GameStop.
cardboard box of the game Twisted Metal lands on his windshield, which he looks at briefly and then uses his windshield wipers to wipe off of his windshield,
Yes.
which immediately says to yourself, yes, we're going to be having fun here. We know.
See, when it comes to PlayStation commercials for PlayStation games, they did this one way better than they did Gran Turismo, which I just now realized that. Yeah, Mike, how far did you get?
Got through 3 episodes.
Okay.
I think the Falcon is very good in this. And I think that it captures the feel of the video game very well. The second episode introduces probably the single most recognizable character of all Twisted Metal, which is the clown dude.
Sweet Tooth.
So yeah,
And
I mean, once I saw that at the end of the first episode, I was like, okay, this is going to be a crazy fun ride. Which I mean, you kind of had that idea up to that point, but that really sealed it. And then the subsequent 2 episodes really lived up to that. I am really enjoying it. It's a very weird show. I don't know if I would recommend it to certain people. Um, it would be a small subset of my normal. Yes, I would recommend this. I would recommend this to a small subset of people, and I think that small subset of people would absolutely love it. The vast, maybe not the vast majority, but the majority of people is probably not going to appeal to them too much. But it was fun.
So
Great fun.
I gotta say, you bring up Sweet Tooth. So Sweet Tooth, the physical person, is played by Samoa Joe,
Awesome.
the wrestler. And then the voice is what's his name from
Will Arnett, I believe.
Yeah, Will Arnett. Which I think completely, and they together are perfect.
Samoa Joe's physical performance, is surprisingly amazing. He physically embodies both this buffoon of a character and this menacing monster of a character at the same time in an amazing way. It's a really great job of acting. Bravo to him for his amazing pantomiming, basically, because he's not allowed to. And the mask is really, I mean, if they got the mask wrong, it'd be bad. And the mask is excellent, but then Will Arnett on top of that, and his voice and his acting is also excellent. It's very good. It's very wonderful to hear. Believe it or not, he's not as scary as a character as you think he might be. I mean, he's
Hey,
scary.
no spoilers. That dude
Sorry.
is a brutal killer, and that's all you need to know.
Hooked on Skittles, right? Oh man, give me the Skittles.
Why do you think they call him Sweet Tooth?
I know.
I will say the amount of people that show up that you recognize is great. This, in my opinion, is the single greatest thing that Anthony Mackie has ever done. Wait till you get to the end of the entire series before you agree with me. And it was weird seeing Neve Campbell again.
Oh, she's not back yet.
Well, she was in another movie that I watched recently as a cameo and went, wait, I haven't seen her since like the 90s. And then, but Stephanie Beatrice, I absolutely love her in pretty much everything. For those of you that don't know who she is, she played Quiet in this show. Most people would know her from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Wow, I totally didn't recognize Neve Campbell. You do see her in the first episode.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't.
She's the mayor lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't recognize her because she's old now. You just remember her as the teenager from Scream or Wild Things, depending on where your predilections lie.
Scream for me.
Smarmy Kevin Bacon with naked 20-something pretending to be 18-year-olds. Yeah, Wild Things. Hey, maybe we should rewatch Wild Things. No, thank you. Don't make me do that.
Okay, we won't. I
so
promise.
just we'll wrap this up properly. We haven't really done this in the last couple weeks.
Sure.
What did you like about this show?
So I like that it knows what its sense of humor is. I love the fact that it knows what it's trying to do, and is not afraid to do it. It pulls no punches in where it goes, as far as I've seen, and it's not trying to be super realistic in any super way. It's pulpy and fun, and that's what it should be at this point. If you've ever, the game is basically, hey, let's wreck cars with my cars with people with interesting characters as drivers. That's what the show is, as far as I could tell. Let's drive race cars and blow up things with cool cars with interesting drivers. That's perfect. Tell a good story and you're good. Well, and blow something up every once in a while.
Yeah.
Mike?
Yeah. I think it's really about the characters, and it is worth noting that the cars are characters.
Oh, absolutely. Cars are always characters.
Yeah.
Cars are usually my favorite character in any
what's his cars? Caroline, was it? I think
yeah.
Caroline.
I think that's right.
No, it's
it starts with an A.
Yeah. But it's because of the license. Oh, never mind. But I will say that number one, this show is funny. It's smart, and it's action packed, and at the same time, it's surprisingly wholesome. You as you get into the storylines, you'll see why I say that. At the same time, it also kind of acts as kind of a criticism of like societal class. I don't know. I just think it's wonderful.
Standard trope for futuristic movies is that there's a class. There's class.
Always.
Issues.
I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's. it looks beautiful. For as ugly as that world is, it looked wonderful. All the action scenes were, I would say, realistic ish. Like, as in, like, physics actually apply.
Right.
I didn't really see anything that was blatant. Oh God. Okay.
I mean, the stormtrooper aim was worth considering. I mean,
oh, I will say one of my new favorite actors is in this. He was one of the guards at the dam, the one that they kind of tricked to get out of there. He's a big dude with a beard.
Yeah.
He's been in a bunch of stuff, and I absolutely love him in everything I have seen. One of these days I will learn his name. He's great. But yeah, there's so much to love about this show. Now, I can't think of anything I disliked. Well, I kind of disliked the way they ended it, but I can't really talk about that until people have watched it. What do you guys, anything that you didn't like?
Oh, sure. I didn't like the fact that this is the show I cannot share with my family.
Oh.
yeah.
Well, you could.
I agree with
Not
you on
interested.
that. There's a lot of language. The violence is pretty.
Like I said, you could.
There's a great joke
there's no rule that says you can't, but you probably shouldn't.
There's a great joke in the first episode about how good the windshield wipers are. Come on.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. That certainly stands up there. I mean, obviously, there's the stormtrooper aim. You know, you've got a technical 50 cal shooting at your vehicle, and it literally doesn't hit it once.
Well, okay. If you're shooting a 50 cal, you're lucky if you hit anything once. Those kind of guns and anything that's automatic is meant for suppressive fire, not actually hitting stuff.
Vehicles are big enough to hit.
But
well, these are video games, especially early video games. They don't show damage.
Right. Yes. I mean,
I don't know.
that's really what it comes down to. Honestly, I don't care. It doesn't bother me. It is something that occurred to me in that initial sequence that Clyde was talking about. But that said, it's totally fine to ignore that plot armor or whatever you want to call it. Like, it's fine. Who cares?
Oh, and trust me, they deal with that very well as this season goes on. They're I don't want to say there are no sacred cows, but yeah, stuff happens, and it's pretty awesome. Oh, and for the record, Mike Mitchell is the dude. And I first kind of noticed him in the TV or the Netflix show Love, which was really funny. And he was one of the main side characters. But all right, I think. Anything else before we move on?
No.
No.
If you're into cars and guns and glory and not afraid of a little language and blood, this is probably a really good.
If you like Anthony Mackie and wish that they put him in a decent role for once, this is a show for you. Because this is Anthony Mackie all the time.
This is fun, Anthony Mackie. I have to say, he's having a good time.
Yeah.
You can tell when he's playing. He is actually having a very good time in this show.
Absolutely. Even when he's not having a good time, you can tell he's having a good time.
The actor is having a good time acting, even though he's acting as if he's really having a bad time. You can tell the actor behind it is like really grinning from ear to ear behind that fake not smile face. He's having a good time.
Alrighty.
He smiles with his eyes.
Hey, I just realized we can use these things to talk about. I don't have a game. Is there anything we want to talk about before we wrap things up? Because we're at an hour right now.
Nah,
We
I'm
got
good.
plenty of time.
Yeah, let's wrap it.
I'm good.
Okay.
I don't have anything else to talk about, so
I'll come back and say, hey, thanks. We're gonna call it. Give you back some time. All right. I hate when people say that. We'll just call this meeting. Give you back some time. Yeah, you're not giving me back time. I still got to go to the next meeting in 15 minutes. All right. Well, I guess, all right. We can probably wrap things up. We can end this meeting early and give you all back some time, right?
You're welcome, viewer. Just what you wanted, right?
We could sit here for the next 5 minutes and just I can laugh.
But then you're taking their time.
People are gonna drive like across the
If
median
they haven't already hit
head
the
on
skip button by this point,
unsubscribe.
we really appreciate your watching our show.
Oh, hey, oh no, we need to discuss something before we go.
Okay.
What are we watching for next week?
Ooh, excellent question.
I just noticed what is coming out tomorrow.
Okay.
The Continental,
Continental.
which is the TV spinoff of the John Wick universe.
Oh, okay. You know, I've never seen those movies.
I don't think you need to.
Okay.
Because this is about the hotel, not his. Because John Wick was all about his vendetta, and you learned about the world through his vendetta.
Yeah.
This show is about the hotel, so it's about the world specifically.
Yeah.
And
You'll
the
miss
place
a little
it
bit of the
facilitates.
lore from the shows, and it is interesting. And if you like action movies, they are really, really good.
Yeah,
but
everybody talks about that.
But this fits into that same category as Twisted Metal. It's not family friendly at all.
But we don't know. I haven't seen a trailer or anything from the Continental yet.
No, I mean the John Wick stuff.
Yeah. And that's why I'm saying the Continental might be something that's more accessible.
Well, since it's coming out next week, it would be really good for us to watch it and get.
Or it's coming out tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah, but for next week's episode, this would be good if we wanted to do that.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I was thinking. I'm actually, because I'm not a big fan of the John Wick movies, but
that's why everybody likes it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't hate it.
Everybody rule of Clyde.
I think the action is good. I think Keanu Reeves plays a perfectly good character. I had issues with the motivation, especially when you got to the end of the last one and you realize all that damage and carnage was for nothing. Absolutely nothing. And that's when I was mad.
Okay.
But yeah, the Continental, we can do that next week.
Sure. I think that's an excellent choice.
Not to be confused with the Continental from Saturday Night Live.
Oh, should we watch that as well?
No, well, you can watch those skits, I guess.
We do continental breakfast before next week and come back and give feedback as to what we thought.
Problem with continental breakfast is that's usually got a bagel and cereal and a yogurt.
I generally feel like it's lacking in the savory department.
Maybe something that's warm, but it's usually like reheated eggs and reheated sausages.
So do we need to? Well, I mean, if we're gonna watch a Continental, we may as well show up in a bathrobe with champagne like Christopher Walken in the sketches.
Somebody, I'll elect you to do that. You may play the part of Christopher Walken next week if you wish, sir.
Okay. We'll see. All right. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us this week, and we will catch you all at our normal time again next week. Bye.
Bye.